Hi, good afternoon, everyone. And thanks for your time. There's a reason why I'm doing today's session. Okay, I don't have any diet plans to share with you. We've been handling cancer for the last 8 years. And today, what I wanted to educate everyone on was the fact that we need to start looking at this condition, whether it's prevention, whether you currently have the disease, whether you're in remission, and you live with that fear that what if the disease comes back? Let me start off by telling you right now, I have absolutely nothing to sell you because there is nothing to sell you. At the front, I want to tell you again, there are no magic drugs when it comes to cancer. There are no magic superfoods. There are no magic diet plans. There are no magic teas or herbs, or there's no magic pranayama or magic yoga asana or magic meditation that works for cancer. If it worked, no one would have cancer because we would find a way to get our hands on this magic, whatever it is, that promises to take away your cancer or prevent your cancer, but it doesn't exist. Okay? You can have the best treatment in the world, but if you are not changing your lifestyle or trying to address the root cause of what caused this very, very, I'm not going to say deadly, it's more of very, very smart disease. You need to understand with cancer, it comes along with fear and, complications and everything. But the one thing that you need to understand is, why was the intelligence of my immune system compromised in the first place? Was it a strong gene? Was it my lifestyle? Was it, overdoing it on something which caused my condition? Was it too much of pollution? Whatever it is, something compromised the intelligence of your immune system. Something compromised the intelligence of your DNA, which is your cellular computer program. Something didn't allow your body to start regenerating stem cells, which, if in a body that doesn't have cancer, your stem cells are constantly helping you to regenerate and protect you from the cancer cells becoming cancerous, from becoming tumors, from becoming metastatic in nature. So this may sound like a complicated disease. In my mind, it is the intelligence of your body at a cellular level that has gone wrong. That is what it is. We can give it many, 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 many names. But the one question we need to ask ourselves to motivate ourselves to address the root cause and to make us understand that just relying on a diet plan or just relying on a chemotherapy or just relying on your chanting is not going to be the complete wholesome solution that you ever want. It's going to be part of it. Yes, diet's going to be part of it. Your meditation, your chanting, your prayers, your chemo, your radiation, your drugs, all of it is going to play a very, very important part, but all of it working together. It's a strategy. Whenever you have a problem in your business, if you're a business person, or you have a problem in your family, on the work, your workplace, whatever it is, how do you look at this problem? Do you just look at finding a solution immediately, putting a Band-Aid on it, putting the carpet over the dirt in your home? Or do you look at a strategy, number one, to tackle the problem, number two, to make sure it doesn't happen again? An approach to any disease today, particularly cancer, requires a strategy. I'm not talking about a complicated strategy, a strategy that is right for you. A lot of people say, oh, veganism is great for cancer. It may be for a lot of people. There are so many people who are not vegan and they're putting their cancers into remission as well. A lot of people swear by going on raw juices and raw diets. Maybe it works for some. But what about all the other people who cannot go raw and do not like to go raw? Does that mean that the cancer is getting the better of them? Absolutely not. So there is no data today to show us that vegan or vegetarian or carnivore or anything is a better solution. The strategy is what works for you as an individual. What works for you? We're talking about India today, but all of my patients in the US who are, carnivores, they eat red meat, all of that stuff. So can I make a statement to say that their cancers are not healing, they're not getting into remission because they're eating meat? Absolutely not. There are so many of them who are doing tremendously well on their treatments, getting into remission, staying into remission. So number one, it's a strategy. We can't look on social media and keep reading stuff and taking opinions of one person's life or one person's journey and making it our own. We can learn from it, but what we apply to ourselves will be a strategy that suits us, that suits the kind of disease we have, suits our personality. Is it sustainable? Will it leave me happy, or will it leave me psychologically more depressed, which is a bigger problem for your cancer? So it comes down to it being a strategy. What is the right medicine and treatment that you need? It's not about saying chemo is bad, radiation is bad. If it's needed, it's needed. There are always ways to manage the side effects of it so it doesn't damage other organs in your body, doesn't crash your immune system. If medicine is part of your protocol, it's part of your strategy. Now, what kind of nutrition do you need part of your strategy? In all my years, can I today say that a raw diet is the best? Can I say vegan is the best? Can I say just have turmeric and garlic all through the day and your cancer is going to go? No. It's different for everyone. For everyone. What kind of exercise do you need? If you have cancer and a thyroid problem, does beating up your body in the gym with intensive workout make sense? Absolutely not. Maybe gradual exercise is going to be more beneficial for you and your disease and your overall condition. So again, it's a strategy. What exercise for you? Not for breast cancer patients, not for prostate cancer patients, but for you. It's about you. You are an individual. You have your own internal environment in your body and your external environment. Now, from the external environment, you got to pick what's right for you with expertise, the right chemo, the right radiation, the right food, and put it together into a strategy that works for you. Does meditation work for you? If you can't even meditate, why are you trying to chase it and try and feel more miserable about yourself when you can't meditate? Maybe a walk in nature gives you the same, exactly the same feelings that a 30-minute meditation session would give you. That works for you. It doesn't have to be meditation. It could be a walk in nature. It could be just sitting down in silence for 15 minutes and being with your thoughts, connecting within. It could just be a simple act of doing your reflection every single day. But no, we have to make it into a strategy. You can pick up 10 self-help books. They're useless if you don't figure out what you connect with and put that into action. Everything sounds good. When you read stories of cancer survivors, you read science textbooks on cancer, you read whatever, it all sounds good. That's how it sells. When I write a book, I need to make it sound good because the publishers won't publish it unless it sounds good to read. So that's how it's done. That's how it's done. But finally, at the end of the day, what do you take and put into action? Or have you taken a body whose intelligence has been compromised and put it into a system which is normalized by society? How can it ever work that way? The human body doesn't work on the principle of math. It works on chemistry, physiology, biology, high level chemical changes happening at a brain level, at a cellular level, at an organ level. That's how intelligent your body is. You can't take it and put it in like, oh, everyone's doing vegan, let me do vegan. Oh, everyone's doing this, let me do this. No, you need a strategy that suits you. It's as simple as that. So when it comes to cancer, you have all these fears. The way I explain it to everyone, see, if anything is written, it's written. There's nothing you can do about it. Okay, that doesn't mean we stop trying. A lot of people have gotten themselves to believe that, oh, cancer, it's my karma and now I'll suffer. Well, if that's what you believe, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're no one to decide what karma hits you when and whether it's even your karma. Like I said, if anything's written, I have so many patients today who have cancer, but they've expired because of other conditions. They've had a road accident, they've had a brain injury, nothing to do with the cancer. Like I said, if our time has come and it's written, there's nothing that nobody can do. No diet, no chanting, no prayer, nothing. It's written, it's happened. But now that's in the dark area. We can't see it. So we leave it. We leave it and we focus on what do we have in front of us, which is everything that I'm going to talk about right now, so that you can formulate your own strategy and understand that this intelligent disease, which has been compromised, which has compromised your intelligence, requires a strategy. We don't need more diet plans. We don't need more chemotherapies. We need enough of them, but we need to put it together into a strategy that is giving you the result, reducing your pain, hopefully moving you to remission, keeping you in remission, managing the side effects so that other organs don't get destroyed, managing peripheral neuropathy so that you don't have those tingling pains and sensations from the side effects of your chemo, bringing back your hair, bringing back the quality of your skin, changing pigmentation if it is possible, okay? Rebuilding your immune system, rebuilding your energy levels so that you can go back to living the same kind of life that you had, or even better, before you got the cancer. Is it possible? Like I said, there's no magic. But if you have the right strategy and you're willing to put all that it takes into that strategy, yes, it is possible. It is absolutely possible. Cancers cannot be reversed. Can they be put into remission? Absolutely, yes. When we say in remission, what do we mean? That means if your cancer is not resurfacing anymore, guess what? Your body got more intelligent. Your immune system is working the way it is supposed to be working, identifying abnormal cells, identifying growing tumors, taking its action and keeping you as healthy as someone who never had cancer. So knowing that, and a lot more that I'm going to talk about today, my vision for this video is not only to give you hope, but to give you all the other mechanisms that you may not be using right now for you to win this battle with cancer if you're going through it. If you're looking at preventing it, it's the same strategy. If you're in remission and you're scared about getting it back, again, it's the same strategy. Who makes that strategy? You. Because everything I'm going to talk about today, whatever connects with you, is what you need to put into your strategy. If you can put all of it in, great. So the next thing that I want to talk about right now is cancer is a multifactorial disease. What do I mean by multifactorial? There are many, many, many things that could have caused it. You know, a lot of people today, when we diagnose root causes and they realize that, hey, Luke, I think my emotional issues over the years, this deep resentment, that bitter divorce, that property matter, my father hating me, my mother hating me, my uncle abusing me, I think that caused my cancer. It's definitely played a role in decreasing your immune system, creating inflammation, but it's not only that. It would be that coupled with poor food, coupled with maybe lack of exercise, sleep deprivation. It's many things. Things alone don't do it. Today, when you look at the most Google causes of cancer, it says pollution, pesticides in food. But again, that's not true. All of us are breathing the same air. All of us are eating the same food. All of us are almost drinking the same quality of water, then all of us should have cancer. But it isn't true. It plays a role, no doubt. Toxic overload in the body. But there's your low immunity. Why wasn't your immune system or your liver able to clean out the excess toxins in your body? Why wasn't your kidney able to flush it out? So there are many, many things that come into, something causing cancer. No one can ever say only this caused cancer because it's a multifactorial disease. So what can we do to get better? Number one, let's try to address what the possible root cause of your cancer was. You may never be 100% sure, but today I could say 95% of our patients, when we keep on asking them questions, they themselves say that, Luke, I think it was this. Because at this point in my life, 6 months to a year before I got diagnosed, this was going on in my life. Extreme sleep deprivation, extreme chronic stress, all of that stuff. So they're able to pinpoint by getting asked the right questions. Because guess what? Why is it so important that we try to establish a root cause? Because if your emotional health played a role in the cause of your cancer, that is an important part of your recovery strategy. You're going to get that cancer back again if you go back to that same emotional state that you possibly think caused your cancer. If it was your way of eating, if it was you living in a very polluted area, factory settings where toxins got into your water, chemicals, all of that stuff, then we need to know that played a possible role in causing your cancer. So now we can make those changes in your strategy. That is why it is so important to know what your emotions were at that point. Were you sleep deprived? Was it your food? Was it your lifestyle? So many things that we're going to talk about. So that's why I'm trying to establish the root cause. And a lot of people at front, they say, Luke, no, but I worked out. I meditated every day. I was the fittest person. Yes, but even fit people get cancer. Vipassana teachers get cancer. Spiritual leaders get cancer. So it's not about that. Yes, we will be disappointed it happened because we took that extra care to look after ourselves. But like I said, it is a breakdown in the intelligence of your system. Today, there's more and more science and medicine showing us that how even the harsh sunlight exposure in our skin is enough to corrupt the DNA of your cell. Anything that can corrupt the DNA of your cell can cause a cancer. Or today, we also know that excessive inflammation in the body can corrupt your DNA, inhibit your stem cell regeneration. So if you're breaking down your body's own natural defenses to protect you against a cancer, guess what? You can invite the disease. So you see, it's way beyond us just being fit or healthy or meditating or praying every day. Disease can happen to everyone and anyone, but we need to still try to get to the root cause of what is causing that problem. There are certain countries in the world today which are now basically legalizing lawsuits to be paid out to women workers who worked in shifts and night shifts, because it is an established fact in these countries of the cause of sleep deprivation or night shift work with certain cancers. This is not a statement to create fear in you, but I'm just trying to show you what's happening around the world, where people are actually showing us, we think these things are normal, and I have nothing against it. It's providing you your livelihood, someone else their livelihood. I worked in a call center. I did night shift for many years. Okay, I appreciated it at that time. I earned money. It paid my bills. So I'm not here to push down a system. But if the truth is the truth, and these things matter, like sleep, the time of sleep, the quality of sleep, if these things matter, we need to consider it into our strategy if we're trying to heal. If we can't do anything about it, it doesn't mean the game is over. There are other things that we can do to get better. So now let me give you a simple example. Come back to your family problem or your business problem. If you keep putting band-aids over these problems, guess what? After a while, every single band-aid falls off. Okay, and the wound can open up again. There could be blood again. Let's take a simple example of fish in a bowl. You have a fish bowl in your house. You have a fish tank in your house. Okay, the fish keep dying. You keep getting new fish. You keep putting medicine in the tank. The fish keep dying. Okay, that can go on and on until you decide to check the water. What's the quality of water in the tank? And maybe you change the water and put in fresh water and the fish start to live. What I'm talking about is addressing the root cause and doing more than what you've been taught as a strategy of cancer. Like I said, take your chemo, take your radiation, take your nutrition. But there is so much more than just that for you to add into this strategy. Does this strategy guarantee you anything? Nothing is in life is guaranteed. So I don't know why people expect a guarantee when it comes to medicine and everything else. Nothing is guaranteed. Your child isn't guaranteed to be the brightest student or the most successful person in the world just because you're spending an enormous amount of money on an international school and their tuitions and everything. Nothing's guaranteed. You may work out today. It doesn't guarantee you that you won't fall sick. Nothing is guaranteed in life. That's the first mindset change we have to have. But that doesn't stop us from doing what is right. We have to keep doing everything with hope, belief, and faith that we may never get sick. And if we do, we're going to get okay. As simple as that. So remember the fish bowl. Let me give you another example. At home, there's dirt that's accumulating in your room. And every time you just lift up the carpet or the rug and you sweep the dirt under that carpet or under that rug. Okay, you can get away with it for 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe a month, maybe 6 months. After a while, that dirt under the carpet's going to start showing from the inside, bulges, smelling, whatever it is, attracting bacteria, worms, insects, all of that stuff. That is exactly what is happening with most strategies for cancer today. Oh, you have a cancer. Okay, let's poison it with chemo, which is right. If it's the right treatment, it's the right. Let's burn it with radiation. Let's cut it out. Let's try to change your hormonal balance. Do what you have to do, but it's only a Band-Aid. It's only a Band-Aid. You still have to address the root cause of what possibly caused this. And if I'm taking a treatment, what are the side effects? What should I do to manage the side effects? You can't just take a treatment without worrying or doing anything about the side effects. If you don't do anything about the side effects, of course, the side effects are going to cause either secondary disease or new problems in your body. So there is always a strategy that you need to take. Now, I'm going to talk about 5 systems in the human body. And as much as I would like to break down each system, I can't do it. It will take a couple of many sessions. But like I said, the vision of the session is to show you and leave you with hope or different mechanisms that you can use to make your cancer better, to get through it. Because remember, knowledge becomes power when it is organized and used. Everyone has access to the internet, but yet there's so much of fear and confusion. Why? Too much of knowledge without it being organized and without it being used is only just knowledge or confusion. There are 5 systems in the human body. These systems are not created by me. You will find it in any anatomy journal. You will find it in medicine books. You will find it in integrative medicine books, whatever it is. Everyone has it. Every child is born with it. We die with it. 5 systems in the human body. Number 1, angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is the ability of your body's blood vessels to know when to grow and when to stop. How does this concern you with cancer? because most cancers are all cases of angiogenesis gone wrong. The cells grow abnormally, they don't know when to stop. In a perfectly functioning body with angiogenesis, if the cells are growing and they need to stop growing, they stop growing. That intelligence is alive in the human body. So every tumor and every cancer cell, okay, is angiogenesis gone wrong. Angiogenesis has lost the intelligence to work the right way. So that's one system. The second system is DNA repair. Our DNA is constantly getting rebooted and repaired all the time because it's constantly getting destroyed. We keep eating deep fried foods, inflammation, free radicals destroy our cells, new cells are born, the DNA gets corrupted, the cells create self-death called apoptosis to protect itself. That cell dies, a new cell is formed, perfectly, beautifully, intelligently working DNA system. But when the DNA gets corrupted and it loses its inability to repair itself, that's when we can have any disease, Alzheimer's, genetic disorders, cancers, and everything else. So the second system is DNA repair. The third system is stem cell regeneration. No, I'm not talking about going to a stem cell clinic. I'm talking about stem cell regeneration in your own body. You were born from a stem cell. Your eyes, your ears, your forehead, your skin, your liver, your heart is all a beautiful symphony of stem cells joining together and creating the whole of you. Stem cells are produced in our bone marrow. The more stem cells we can produce and the healthier our stem cells are, the more easier it is for the body to regenerate and repair. That's why a lot of patients going through chemo and radiation, sometimes, unfortunately, the treatment consumes them completely, okay? Because the body is unable to regenerate and repair. So if we can build on our systems to regenerate, repair by keeping our stem cells healthy, keeping our bone health healthy so that we can generate stem cells, that's a powerful mechanism in your cancer strategy. If we can eat the right foods and live the right lifestyles to support intelligent angiogenesis, massive part of your strategy. If we are able to eat in a way and live the right lifestyles to repair our DNA, that's another strategy you have. Let's move on to the fourth, which is your immune system and inflammation, something we constantly talk about. You cannot have cancer if your immune system is intelligent and strong. You cannot have it. So people in remission, the only thing that's going to prevent you from getting your cancer back is by keeping inflammation low and your immune system strong. So that's another mechanism in your strategy that you keep: immunity and inflammation. The fifth is your gut, your microbiome. 1 in 2 people have gut issues. How do you know if you have a gut issue? Constant bloating, acidity, constipation, loose motions, an inability to digest the foods that you could digest 2 years ago, sudden intolerances, allergies. You know you have a gut problem. And 1 in 2 people across the world have gut issues. Now, my issue with the gut is the microbiome. Your microbiome controls 75% or more of your immune system. It regulates your hormonal health, whether you're talking about thyroid, whether you're talking about ovarian cancers, anything to do with hormones is regulated by your microbiome and your gut. So you can take all the hormone replacements that you want, but if you still have gut problems, guess what? You're never going to get better. Now, let the hormone replacement work or whatever it is that your doctors have advised you, but you have to work on building the strongest microbiome, which is your gut, whether it's at the start of your treatment, during your treatment, after your treatment, for the rest of your life. Every human being needs a strong microbiome and a strong gut. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 mechanisms that everyone is born with. And anyone who is not working on either of these 5 defense systems in the human body, you have an incomplete recovery plan. You can have all the money in the world, fly down your patients to the best hospitals and all of that stuff. I see that all the time. Hey, Luke, I've spent so much. I moved my patient to the US, to this clinic in Germany, in the Bra Prairie, whatever it is, all over the world and stuff like that. Are the patients recovering any better than someone who's maybe stuck in a hospital in Bombay or Goa or Pune and stuff like that? No, it definitely has its pros and cons in terms of hygiene, treatment, personalized, all of that stuff. But recovery and healing will never, ever, ever be optimized unless even the patients doing all the fancy flying and going to the hospitals and stuff do not put this in their strategy. Angiogenesis, DNA repair, stem cell, immunity and inflammation, and gut. Because guess what? No disease can heal without you having a strategy for these 5 defense mechanisms. You can have the best of anything. You can start your own organic farm, grow your own spinach, but if you're not focused on these 5 defense mechanisms, it's not going to work, because these are the 5 defense mechanisms that prevent disease and help you heal a disease if you have it. So how can it not be part of your strategy? It has to be part of your strategy. Let me add the 6th point, which is managing the side effects of your treatment. Like I said, in the honest attempt for the chemotherapy or the radiation to work or the surgery to work, do it if you have to. It's in an honest attempt to help you. But if you are not managing the side effects of these treatments, then you suddenly find out that you now have a liver problem, a kidney problem, or guess what? My immune system is getting weaker and weaker. If you are a patient with cancer, how can your immune system be getting weaker and weaker? It must be getting stronger and stronger. It is a defense mechanism and a healing mechanism for your body. So does it make sense to you? So of course, one of the side effects of chemotherapy is a compromised immune system. This doesn't mean you don't do the chemotherapy, but you eat the right foods, you make the right lifestyle changes on the side to boost your immunity, so you have a trade-off. You try to balance it. Tomorrow, if I need to take a steroid, okay, I shouldn't be against the steroid if I need it. I'm going to take the steroid, but I'm also going to understand that the steroid is wiping out vitamin A, it's wiping out vitamin C, it's wiping out vitamin E from my body. So I want to put those vitamins back into my body through my food. So I'm balancing the effect. The steroid is not going to hurt me as much as it would hurt someone who is not making those changes to find a trade-off. And this is why I call it a strategy. If you have a problem in your business, okay, you solve it with strategy. Otherwise, you keep having the same problem over and over again. So anyone with cancer, and everything I'm talking about doesn't have to cost money, because it's not the superfoods that help you with angiogenesis. It's not the superfoods that help you with DNA stem cell. It is healthy, natural food, the right foods for the right defense mechanism that you're trying to work on. So it doesn't have to become an inexpensive affair. If you learn to manage and build on these recovery protocols, these defense mechanisms, you are enabling your body to fight the cancer better or keep it in remission. No one can ever say today, my chemo is the best in the world. No one can ever say my nutrition is the best in the world. No, it is what is right for the patient. It is what is right for you. So now these are the mechanisms. Now let me tell you, over and above this, what else today you can pick and add to your strategy. So we spoke about food being a very, very important part. Nutrition, I mean, there's no debate about it. It's as simple as that. If you need to be motivated to eat well, just remember, you are made up of trillions of cells in the human body. Trillions of cells need 3 things: nutrition from the food that you eat, water, oxygen from the air that we breathe, and if I am giving these trillions of cells the right raw material, what do the cells use nutrients and oxygen and water for? Boosting your immunity, healthy angiogenesis, DNA repair, stem cell regeneration, microbiome, and gut health. So it's like you're constructing a building, okay? If you put inferior quality bricks and cement, what's going to happen? The building's going to collapse after a while. So you are only as healthy and as strong. Well, let me put it this way. Your immune system is only as healthy and as strong as the quality food that you are feeding it, and the right amount and right quality of oxygen that you're breathing, along with water. There's no debate about food's role in your cancer strategy. So that's number 1. We're not going into detail about this because everyone is different. Like I said, I have patients right now who are eating meat and doing beautifully. I have patients who are vegan doing beautifully. I have vegetarians doing beautifully. Okay? It's not about that. It's about what is right for you. The second thing, we have prayer, we have faith, and we have belief. Such a powerful drug. Today, I'm in the field of integrative medicine. We have patients going through chemo and radiation. We have patients going through yoga. We have patients going through asanas. But if you have to ask me today, Luke, what is the most powerful drug you have seen till date? And I will say it is prayer, faith, and belief. Why? Did I learn this in a textbook? No one learns this in a textbook. You see it in life. You see it with your own patients. You see the difference between a patient who has faith and belief versus a patient who has none of them, versus a patient who has disbelief, versus a patient where fear has clouded and blurred their ability to think straight and find faith and belief. Prayer, faith, and belief is such a powerful part of your treatment. A lot of people say, Luke, but I don't believe in these things. I don't have faith. It doesn't matter what you have faith in. The very fact that you wake up every day without going to sleep thinking, oh, am I going to wake up every day? Means you have faith in something that you're going to wake up the next day. You have faith that the sun is going to rise. You don't worry about it. Oh, is the sun going to rise today? So everyone has faith. Everyone's got faith. Just remove away the complications and all your, shallow, philosophies and stuff like that, and start keeping it simple. No one can live without faith. Now, what you put your faith in, that's up to you. Some people put faith in God and a religion, in the universe, maybe in a drug. I know people who look at the chemotherapy and say, this chemotherapy cycle is going to kill all my cancer cells. And they believe in it, and it happens. Faith, the power of faith, belief, and prayer. If you don't pray to a God, converse with the universe. Talk and ask. No one anyway has the right answers for you today. No one can guarantee you anything. No one can guarantee you anything. So converse. Prayer is such a beautiful communication, but our shallow minds have been, molded to believe that prayer means, oh, now let me select which is the right religion. Does this work? It's not your job to figure it out. Your job is to pray from an open heart with faith and belief to whoever it is, whatever it is that you want to. But faith and belief is a powerful drug because it works at a subconscious level. At a subconscious level. Today, if a medical professional tells you, a weak mind, that you're going to die, you are going to die. I've seen patients die when doctors told them you have 2 months left to live. Exactly in 2 months, they have died. In fact, that person today is on call who lost his wife. I saw his name pop up over there. Let me share his story without sharing his name. I treated his wife, who's on our call today, about a couple of years ago in Dubai. Okay, she had a cancer, cervical cancer with mets to the lungs, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really remember the case. I would fly down to Dubai every month to treat her. She was taking chemo, radiation, doing beautifully. After a while, she told the doctor, I don't want more treatments. The doctor said, that's up to you. Just do your PET scans every 6 months. She did a PET scans every 6 months for 2 years. No show of the cancer. Everything was good. And then one day she decided to go to a different doctor out of the blue and said, let me just get a second opinion. And that doctor made her do a PET scan. And she had a small lesion in her lung. And the doctor said, oh, you're a cancer patient previously with a history. This is a lesion. It's mostly cancerous. And in these cases, you have 2 months left to live. I got the call as I was taking off on a flight. I remember from Chennai to Bangalore. I remember this because I was about to switch my phone off. And this guy called me up and said, Luke, she's frustrated. She's crying. The doctor said she has 2 months left to live. And I spoke to her. She had given up everything. I just made a note of that date of that call, because something in my mind said that this case is going to be lost, because she was like, the doctor looked in my eyes and said, there's, nothing you can do. Go home, spend time with your family. The same patient who had lived for 2 years without a cancer, without a problem at all. Exactly in 2 months, she died. Exactly 2 months, the same day. Power of the mind. What we believe can happen. It's called the placebo effect. It's called the nocebo effect. I spent a lot of time in Pune. I like to tell stories because we relate with stories, with a top general practitioner doctor. If I share his name right now, you would know him, you would have heard of him and stuff like that. He came to me because he was diagnosed with cancer, and over time he kept talking to me about so much of stuff. And I said, what about all the medicines that you would give us, these little colored pills? He said, Luke, in our practice, 99% of the drugs that we give are placebos. They're sugar pills because we know they'll get better. 1% requires maybe the right medication, like an antibiotic or something like that. So you see, placebos have been used for years and years. What is a placebo? The power of your mind, what you believe is going to happen. But we're so scared to want to believe the best because we're already scared of disappointment. What if it doesn't happen? Well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but it doesn't mean we stop believing in what can happen. You see, imagination is a very powerful word. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. Let me break that down for you. So what I mean by that is, let's say a truth and a lie. Your conscious mind knows what a truth and a lie is. Your subconscious mind doesn't know that, which is why some people who lie, after a while, they don't believe they're lying anymore because their subconscious now believes it's their truth because they projected it as a truth. So you can imagine the worst and it can happen, or you can imagine the best. Your subconscious mind sees it the same way. So today, if I'm going through a really bad cancer, I know that chemo is going to be hard. What if I change the way I imagine it? That, yes, this is what Google says. This is what everyone says. but I'm going to imagine that this chemotherapy is going to be the best for my body. Everyone will say, come on, yes, your conscious mind knows, but your subconscious mind doesn't know. That is how you use the power of your imagination to make even the worst the best. You lose nothing by imagining the best, nothing in life by imagining the best. All the anxious people out there are anxious because they imagine the worst. But when you ask them, has your worst ever happened? Most of them will say, oh no, it never really happened. So why invest and then manifest what you constantly think about? So you have the power of prayer, faith, belief, and imagination. You have the power of nature. Nature is so healing. Is it in your recovery plan? Is it in your cancer strategy recovery plan? Spending more time in nature. It is healing. That is why you feel so good when you're by a beach, by a water body, in the mountains. You just feel different. You could be the most stressed out person, but when you're in the midst of nature, you feel different. Nature has a healing effect. It has a healing effect. Today, Ayurveda is published in medical journals showing that how just taking a patient, placing them in sunlight, in clean air, brings a change in the immune system in less than 24 hours. So can we use nature as part of our strategy? The circadian rhythm, one of the most powerful strategies that you must have if you are going through cancer or any disease. I'm not going to speak about the circadian rhythm. I've spoken about it before. I'll be happy to send you the link where we've actually written the whole process of living the circadian way. It's a beautiful read, and I cannot tell you, we probably have clocked thousands of people across the world, some of them that we don't even know, who have said, Luke, we started living the circadian way. And every aspect of our disease, our conditions, our pain is now changing. It's no magic. It's just you aligning with the laws of nature. We have a rhythm. Your heartbeat is a rhythm. Your breath is a rhythm. If your heartbeat changes, your breath changes, you move out of homeostasis. Your body starts to get stressed until your heart rhythm, your breath, your pulse rate is back into normal, which is why in a medical emergency, they check your pulse first, they check your heart rate, they put an oxygen mask because they're trying to bring you back into homeostasis, because that's the ability of the body to heal. You cannot heal if your body is out of homeostasis. That's why they need to stabilize you first on oxygen, on whatever it is, on blood, stabilize, only then can the body heal. So living the circadian way is one of the most powerful strategies. Today, all of us are living in misalignment. If there's misalignment in our rhythm, there is disharmony at a cellular level. It's as simple as that. Picture a band, your favorite band playing, and one band member plays out of tune. Now that soothing music becomes noise because there is disharmony. The circadian rhythm is free. It is inexpensive. It may be difficult because we're so addicted to our social lives and late nights and, just living in a very haphazard way. But when you put your body into a circadian rhythm, the healing is therapeutic. Okay? When you're sick, you're put in the right environment to heal. Depending on the degree of your sickness, you may be put into an ICU. So you see, environment matters for a body to heal. Okay? A baby may be put into an incubator, depending on how he or she is when they're born. You're put in the right environment. You cannot put a sick body in the wrong environment. The healing is impossible. The recovery is impossible, no matter how much and how good your treatment, your nutrition, your exercise is. Your outside environment controls your internal environment. You may meditate and feel peaceful, but if your external environment, when you open your eyes, is hard on you, there's disharmony again. So you see, your external environment and your internal environment have to work together, which is why the circadian rhythm, Tina, so that's another low-hanging fruit, powerful fruit. There are scientific studies done on circadian rhythms and cancers. Guess what? The latest one, I spoke about it a couple of days ago. In a circadian rhythm, the human body has the ability to regenerate. Now go back to my top point, stem cell regeneration. DNA repair will work better when you're sleeping at the right time, sleeping with the right quality, eating at the right times. All that is in the circadian rhythm. So you see, it's all interrelated. Today, science is saying that, yes, a body can heal in the presence of circadian rhythm. So that's something we can use. Your environment, like I said, external environment, internal environment. If you are a sick body in a toxic environment with toxic people around you, stuck in a toxic relationship, it's easy for me to say, difficult for you, but it is a very important part of your recovery plan to distance yourself from toxicity. You cannot heal. That's your external environment interfering with your internal environment. The more stress that you have affects your internal environment. It affects your hormones. It affects your immunity. A body under stress cannot regenerate. A body under stress cannot produce stem cells. A body under stress cannot complete the process of angiogenesis. That is how today people can say stress causes disease. Stress causes cancer. Stress causes Alzheimer's, heart attacks, strokes, and everything else. Because stress is impacting every vital function at a cellular level in the human body. So if you have stress in your life, whatever it is, whatever it takes, part of your recovery plan is learning to deal with that stress. I know it's difficult. Whatever you have to accept, you got to accept. Whatever you got to let go, you got to let go of. But it is an important part of your recovery plan. Sleep. Sleep. You cannot heal. All healing happens when you sleep, period. You fall down, you get a wound. Do you see the scab growing during the day? Oh, wow, scab's growing on my hand right now. You sleep, you wake up, you have a scab. Why does your mouth smell when you wake up? Why do you have dirt between your eyes? Signifying that it was a cleanup process, detoxification, repair, growth. All of these processes only happen in a state of complete rest. You can have the best treatment in the world, but the healing, recovery, repair, identification of abnormally behaving cells, abnormally proliferating cells happen when you sleep. That's why today melatonin, everyone thinks of melatonin. Oh, that's going to help me to sleep. Melatonin is an anti-cancer vaccine, recorded in science journals as an anti-cancer vaccine. When we sleep, we produce melatonin. We actually produce melatonin to put us to sleep, but that melatonin is used while we're sleeping to move around your blood system, identifying cells that are abnormally behaving, signals off your immune system to come and do the job. So if you're sleep deprived, you don't have enough of melatonin. If you don't have any melatonin, guess what? You've compromised everything. Your immune system, inflammation, angiogenesis, everything. So no matter what anyone says, sleep is the most powerful drug. It's part of your recovery program. Then we know exercise again. What is the exercise that suits you? Whether it's yoga, walking, weight training, whatever it is, depending on your condition, exercise and movement has to be a part of your strategy. Breath. I cannot stress more than on the power of your breath. Understand every cell in your body needs to be oxygenated. All of you listening right now, pause and look. Are you breathing to your full capacity? Absolutely not. Now you will take a full, deep breath. That means all this while you were not oxygenating trillions of cells in the human body, which is what makes our pranayama so important. The more you oxygenate your body through simple deep breathing. Yes, you can fly to Mexico and they will remove your blood, oxygenate it, put it back in you. I don't have a problem with that. You can do that in Switzerland. You can do that in Egypt. You can do all these things. You can also just sit where you are right now, close your eyes, put your back straight, and a complete inhale and a longer exhale. 3 to 6 counts, you've oxygenated trillions of cells in the human body. Do this when you wake up, do this midday, do this in the evening, do it right before you sleep. Simple strategies. Am I saying this will take away your cancer? But no, it will give your body the ability that one raw material, remember the raw materials, nutrients from the food that you eat, water and oxygen, you're giving your immune system everything it needs to sustain human life by breathing the right way. So oxygenation, so important. That's why we exercise. If we don't exercise, you may be in a wheelchair. Pranayama is your exercise that you will do. If you can't use your lower body, use your upper body. You can use resistance bands, light dumbbells, whatever it is. There is always a way to create some amount of physical activity. If you can't do it on your own, someone can do it for you. Lifting your legs, lifting your arms, any movement is good. But if you have the power to use your breath, a long time ago, about 2 months ago, I did a whole session on morning breathing exercises linked to a scientific study of where they claim that 60% improvement in lung cancer patients' 4th stage, 60% improvement by doing morning breathing exercises, just helping the lungs oxygenate. So why don't we do these things? Because our minds, it's not our fault. We're just looking for the more complicated thing all the time. Complication doesn't solve disease. Simplicity does. A simple strategy done with discipline and consistency is what you need to do. More complication never solved any problem. Can you think of a time where complication solved an issue in your relationship, an issue at work, an issue when it came to your weight or anything? Complication is not meant to solve problems. We use simplicity. That's why the simple minds develop the most complicated algorithms that can solve problems on computers and stuff like that. But it came from simplicity, not from complication. Please use simplicity. That is a cool thing. Your strategy has to be simple. Just because the disease is deadly and complicated doesn't mean the strategy has to be the same. It needs to be simple. So, breath, emotional wellness. Yes, there's a lot of release work to do when you have cancer or any disease, whether it's someone you need to forgive, whether it's something you need to express. I can tell you one thing up front. If you don't have your energies flowing freely, okay, you cannot get better. Everything creates blocks. Energy creates blocks. Take a pressure cooker. If you block the point of release of pressure, it's going to explode. The same thing, energy has to flow. It cannot be blocked. When energy is blocked, it has a negative impact on every aspect of the human body and mind. Energy has to flow. So when you are in a state, forget about, don't wait to get cancer. If there are things that you need to express, now is the time. It doesn't have to be to that person. It could be to anyone, but you need to get undivided listening from someone where you can just break down. You don't have to break down to express, and express the deepest, darkest emotions in you that you feel are causing a problem, because energy flow has to work. When we block an energy because we're suppressing it, the body will get sick. Cells will get sick. Ever pictured yourself in a situation where you want to say something and you can't say it? How do you feel? Miserable. Where is that feeling of misery coming from? Trillions of cells in the human body. It is so important for you, no matter where you are, to revisit this part of your emotional health and learn to express. Yes, it's difficult. There are fears, but everything, the most beautiful life, the most powerful recoveries exist on the other side of your fear. We got to work through those fears. You don't need to care about what people say, what they think, whether you're judged. No, you got to be larger than that. Okay? Because people, when they talk about it, they'll talk about it for a day. You see the stuff happening on social media? They pull down someone today, tomorrow it's forgotten. Then they find out someone else to pull down, and then it's forgotten. People forget. Don't let your fears be about what people are going to think. You want to heal. You want to harness the intelligence in your body, which got compromised in the first place. Release of emotion is powerful, and you need to find a way to do it. So you got to work with your emotional wellness. A lot of people say, look, I'm chanting, I'm meditating. That's good. How is it changing your emotional wellness? If it's not, you're wasting your time. Okay? Don't let spirituality become a fad. Okay? Take what you need and action it. What you're learning from spirituality, is it making a difference in your life? Are you feeling better? So if I'm meditating for forgiveness, am I actually going and trying to forgive someone? Or am I just still trying to meditate for the strength to do it? You're failing. You're wasting your time. You're postponing healing. So do not make spirituality a fad. Meditation, chanting, all of those things. Like I said, if they were super powerful, then everyone who does that wouldn't have cancer, but it isn't. It's an integral part of your cancer strategy. Do it the right way. Action, action, action. Today I learned acceptance. Now let me practice it for 10 days before I take up the next self-help book that'll make me feel good, but I won't practice it. Today, if I learned the art of appreciation or the art of understanding grace and tolerance, let me practice it for 10 days. If I've understood forgiveness today, let me go and try to forgive until I perfect it. These are things that we need to do to improve our emotional wellness. Spiritual wellness we spoke about. Negative self-talk, be careful of that, okay? Because you will manifest it. So if you've decided that your disease is going to kill you, there's nothing that any medicine or diet plan or any spirituality can ever do. Negative self-talk becomes your subconscious truth. So if you say that, oh no, this chemo is so bad, it's gonna toxify me, it's gonna kill just don't do the chemo, because believe me, that's exactly what the chemo is gonna do. If you've decided to do the treatment, imagine the best. Negative self-talk doesn't work for anyone. Positive self-talk, but we're scared of positive self-talk. Why? What if it doesn't happen? How can you be scared of rejection or disappointment when you've not even tried? You still tried knowing that Nothing is guaranteed, but this is the best option. Let me decide that this chemotherapy is actually going to be so good for me. This radiation is going to be so good. This food I'm eating is going to be great. This walk in nature is going to be healing for me today. Live with intention. Every sip of water that you take, visualize that this water is cleansing me. It's healing me. It's flushing out cancer cells. You know, it may sound stupid to you. Okay, I don't care about your conscious mind. I care about what your subconscious mind is hearing. And it is hearing everything. It is seeing everything, which is why they tell you what your kids see you do, they will do it. Why? Their subconscious mind registers it. Their conscious mind is not yet developed. It goes into their subconscious mind and they start behaving. We all behave from our subconscious mind. We rationalize and think from our conscious mind, but we behave from our subconscious mind. So be careful of negative self-talk. You will manifest that. I have patients as I speak to you right now who have gotten cancer, and when we go into the emotional part of their diagnosis, you know what they say? They say, Luke, I think I manifested it. I said, what do you mean? They said, I've always said, I don't want cancer. I don't want cancer. I'm so scared of cancer. I don't want to get cancer. No, instead say, I want to have a healthy life. I want to have such a strong body that even if I get sick, I'll recover. We never focus on the negative because that becomes our subconscious program. We focus on the positive. Okay? So spiritual wellness, action. Anything, action. If you're not doing it, it's useless. As simple as that. Acceptance, letting go. Powerful. Before I end, one more point. I would never have spoken about this 3 years ago, but over the last couple of years, we've seen some pretty crazy cases when it comes to cancer, and no reasons, intense sufferings of the patient and stuff like that. And then, you know, people in the family have come and said that, hey, Luke, you know, I think it's evil eye. I think there is some evil eye that exists in our family and stuff. And I would just never believe in these things. But then one day I said, who am I not to believe in these things? Just because it doesn't make sense to me. And you will not believe how these things are true. And then I further started studying this, and I realized that every religion across the world warns you of evil eye. So sometimes when there is unknown suffering in your families or in yourself and stuff like that, whether you're religious or spiritual, it is so important for us to protect ourselves from the evil eyes of other people or whatever. So whether you do pujas, you do blessings, or whether you just pray for protection. Because guess what? Evil eye is real. There are people out there in the world who want people to die, who want people to suffer, who want people to, you know, get deadly diseases. There are people like that. How can I tell you this? Because we've come across them in the last 8 to 9 years. Evil exists. Like there is good, there is bad. Like there is happiness, there is sadness. But evil exists. So it's so important for you to also reflect on these things. You know, sometimes your worst enemy, things like black magic, all of these things, they've existed for centuries. And today, you know, science is even studying these things. Science is even studying these things because it's an energy. And if someone has put that energy on you, it's something that we must consider as part of our strategy. We don't have to get all crazy about it, which is why every religion talks about saying a prayer for protection. Protect me from evil. Okay, if we're in groups where we get the wrong vibes, or we know there are people who are envious of your health, or envious of your children, or envious of your beauty, or envious of all of that becomes evil eye. It's something to consider. I'm not saying evil eyes caused your cancer, but I know like massive cases where, you know, the most cases where there's suffering, where people have begun to accept that. They've done whatever pujas, blessings, or prayed for protection and stuff like that. And cases have started to get better. So all I'm trying to say today, there is no magic food, chemotherapy, this, that, prayer, all of that stuff. All of these, when there is disharmony in the body, cancer is disharmony in the body. What has caused this disharmony? Is it a negative energy from someone? Sometimes it's in your own family. Someone wishing you bad luck, someone wishing you to fail, someone wishing you evil. You know, sometimes it's in your family, it's in your immediate family, it's in your far-off family, it's in your workplace. Evil exists, and that's why we have to have a faith. We have to have faith and belief in a stronger power to protect us. Alone, we can't protect ourselves. That's why you have to have faith every single day that we are being protected. So we pray for protection. The same way we pray for abundance, for healing, for great health, we also pray for protection. This is what I wanted to end it with. So no matter how much of confusion and perception there are out there, never forget that we have all of these mechanisms to put into our strategy today. We don't have to only rely on medical treatment. We don't have to only rely on food. We have to put all these strategies together. And like I said, if your strategy plan doesn't look at angiogenesis, if it doesn't look at DNA repair, stem cell, inflammation and immunity, and your microbiome and gut, you have an incomplete recovery plan. I know we live in a fast-paced world where we want the pill and we want to be fixed, but that's why we're the sickest world at this point. At this point in human history, we have the most disease, the most suffering, the most death, because you can't just look at one side of the disease. Disease is disharmony. You have to look at every aspect, and every aspect that you need to heal it. Everything I spoke about sounds like a lot, but let me show you a perfect day of someone who's struggling with cancer, who's got a nice strategy in place. They wake up at the right time, preferably before sunrise. They set their intentions, maybe a little bit of meditation can all be done in 5 to 10 minutes. They go, they pass a motion, they do their meds, they start their day, put nutritious food in their bodies, they do their work, they make time for their sunlight, they meditate a little bit. And I'm talking about people doing this in 24 hours. And most of them have woken up after 8 hours of sleep. They have their meals on time. They do their little bit of exercise that suits their condition, their physical capabilities and stuff like that. They probably get time in the evening a little bit with nature. They try to get into bed early, minimal gadgets, which affects your melatonin production before bed. They've learned the art of praying, taking up hobbies, passions, working on relationships which are spoiled, working on forgiveness, expressing emotions to friends or family or to counselors or whatever it is. That's it. All of that. You're living the entire strategy one day, every day. It may sound complicated because it's a lot, but this is the strategy that you need. You can't have a diet plan solve a disease that needs a strategy. You can't have just one medicine or one line of treatment solve a complicated disease caused by a compromised intelligence without doing anything else. You can't also just sit and meditate and chant and expect your cancer to go away. It's a strategy. You have to look at life as a strategy. There are many, many, many little things that I need to now put together so it creates harmony. My medicines are working beautifully. My organs are taking it well, removing the excess toxins. I'm in a good frame of mind. I'm doing things with the right intention. I'm moving my body. I'm resting it. I'm giving it deep sleep, the melatonin it needs to repair. Harmony. When you create harmony, you give that intelligence that was compromised in your body the ability and a chance to do what no man, no doctor, no scientist, no researcher, no nutritionist has yet been able to do, which is solve cases of cancer. So let's put that strategy together in the most simplest way possible, and let's see how we can change our life. If you are that person who's given up hope, now have you done all of these things? And if you have and you're still giving up, it's not for you to decide to give up. Okay, you got to still keep that brain powerful and strong. It's easy for me to say I'm not going through the disease. I know it's easy for me to say, difficult for you, but it's not impossible to do. It's not impossible to do. Look at every survivor out there who survived the worst cancers, and they will talk about the role of their mind, belief, faith, and every single strategy that we spoke about coming together to make them who they are today. So now I hope this lifts all the weight that the disease comes along with, the suffering. And if you are able to put the strategy together for you, guess what? You have a lot more to hit the disease with, a lot more hope, a lot more tangible things to do. But the more you do, there's always going to be a result. You do the things which are wrong, you get the wrong results. You get to do the things which are right, you get the right results. You do the same things, you get the same results. So we're talking about doing things differently, which are meant for you, which don't have side effects, and definitely look at getting, if not all the results, most of them, if not most of them, some. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you for your time.